If you grew up in the 1980s, you probably don't just remember what things looked like, you remember what they sounded like. Before everything went digital, before phones stayed glued to our hands, before life felt so fast, the 80s had a soundtrack, and it wasn't just music. It was the everyday noise of malls, arcades, living rooms, and summer streets. Today, we're looking at 10 forgotten soundscapes of 1980s America that'll hit you right in the feels. Let's rewind to a louder, simpler time. In the 80s, the mall wasn't just a place to shop, it was the place to be. You'd walk in and hear the echo of footsteps on tile floors, music drifting from record stores, and right in the center, the steady splash of a giant fountain. Parents tossed in pennies, kids leaned over the edge. That sound mixed with laughter, arcade noise, and the smell of popcorn. Today, many of those fountains are gone, and some of those malls are too. But if you close your eyes, you can still hear that water echoing under high ceilings. Step into an 80s arcade and it hit you all at once. Electronic beeps, laser sounds, 8-bit music looping over and over, the clink of quarters dropping into machines, the low hum of cabinets lined up wall to wall. Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Galaga. Every game had its own voice. Now gaming lives quietly inside consoles and headsets, but back then, it was loud, it was bright, and it sounded like the future. Friday night meant one thing: a trip to the video store. Back home, you'd slide that chunky VHS tape into the VCR, and if someone forgot to rewind it, you'd hear that fast whirring spin as the tape raced back to the beginning. That mechanical sound meant movie night was about to start. Popcorn popping in the kitchen, family gathering on the couch. Streaming is instant now, but that rewind noise made you wait, and somehow that made it better. In the 1980s, changing the channel wasn't smooth. You'd turn the knob or press the clicker, and for a split second, static, that fuzzy white noise. Sometimes a loud burst of hiss if the antenna wasn't right. You might even walk up to the TV and adjust the rabbit ears, hoping the picture would clear up. Today, screens switch instantly and perfectly. But that static, it was part of the experience, a tiny storm between shows. Summer in the 80s had its own rhythm. Kids ran in and out of the house all day, and every time, that screen door slammed shut behind them. Not gently, never gently. You'd hear bikes skidding on pavement, sprinklers ticking back and forth, and someone yelling, "Be home before dark." Now, neighborhoods are quieter, but that screen door slam was the heartbeat of summer freedom. There was something personal about the sound of a Walkman. You'd press play, click. The soft whir of the cassette turning, foam headphones resting over your ears as your favorite song began. Sometimes the batteries were low and the music slowed down just a little. But it didn't matter. For the first time, your soundtrack was yours alone. Before playlists and Bluetooth, there was that tiny click that meant escape. In the 80s, phones didn't travel with you. They were mounted on the wall, usually in the kitchen, with a long curly cord. When it rang loud. No vibration, no gentle alert. If you wanted privacy, you stretched that cord around the corner. And if you were expecting a call, you stayed close to home. Now phones are silent in our pockets, but that sharp ring once sent everyone racing to answer it first. Saturday mornings were sacred. The TV would click on early, the theme songs were bright and bold, cartoons filled the living room while cereal bowls clinked on coffee tables. You could hear commercials for toys you suddenly needed. And outside, it was quiet. The world hadn't fully woken up yet. Streaming means cartoons anytime now, but back then, you had one shot each week, and it sounded like pure joy. Not every home had central air, so on sticky summer nights, a big box fan sat in the window. It hummed loudly, pushing warm air around the room. That steady drone mixed with distant crickets and the glow of a streetlight outside. It wasn't perfect, but it was comforting. That fan noise meant you were home, safe. Another summer day done. In the 80s, TV didn't go on forever. Late at night after the last show, the national anthem might play. Then the screen would turn to color bars, and finally, black. You'd hear the soft click as someone turned the set off. The house would go quiet. No endless scrolling, no autoplay. Just silence and the feeling that the day had truly ended. It's strange how we don't notice sounds while they're happening, but years later, one small noise can bring it all back. The mall fountain, the arcade beep, the slam of a screen door. The 1980s weren't perfect, but they had a rhythm, a heartbeat, a soundtrack that still echoes in memory. Which one of these sounds do you remember most? Is there another 80s sound that still lives in your mind? If this brought you back for a moment, don't forget to like, share your memory in the comments, and subscribe for more trips down memory lane. Until next time, keep listening for the echoes of the 80s.